Artlist.io.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of You Deserve Fresh Lettuce. I am your co-host, Rachel.
And I'm Delia.
And today we're going to be talking about online dating. Oh, should you do it? Have we tried it? What's it like? Oh my gosh. We want your comments, by the way. In your DMs,
what are the details? The details. Let's talk about it.
So what about you?
So when I got married really young, so obviously I think internet wasn't like as popular. I mean, internet was around, right? Obviously, but I remember, meeting or knowing a couple people that like were on Match.com, and I was like, what a loser! Like, who gets on Match.com? Like, why can't you just meet someone organically?
Right.
And it's easier said than done. Mm-hmm. And so fast forward to me getting divorced, I had a really good girlfriend of mine that was like literally on every social media, on every dating app, I should say. And to say every social or every platform is excessive. However, she's like, you need to download Match, you need to download Bumble, you need to download Hinge and Cupid. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. Like, I was very against it. And so fast forward to today, have I? Of course, absolutely. I've gone on dates with people online, and yeah, it's weird. And I had to download another application called Spokeo. Oh, yeah. And on Spokeo, I just wanted to make sure that I cross-referenced that they were a legitimate person that wasn't, gonna be like someone that just came out of prison and I'm going out with them, and, if they're not being so forward. How about you?
I did dabble in it, but at the end of the day, I'm such a lover of the in-person connection, and I get invited to some really wonderful events, and what ends up happening at some of these events is it kind of vets people for you, because these people are on very exclusive lists, and so to be able to be a part of that, and then people want to say, oh, so what do you do, so where do you live, and people are there to naturally engage with one another. And so I've been very fortunate to be in those environments and make real life connections, right? Versus the online dating, which I did do right out the gate. After my divorce, everybody was like, you got to be online. And so I did Tinder when it came out. And then before that, my cousin set up a profile for me on like Plenty of Fish. If you see my profile on Plenty of Fish, that's not actually, it's me. But she set it up. She still probably has the passcodes to it.
And she's like going on dates.
She was like sending the worst freaking correspondence to people. She just loves a good laugh. And so I don't even know what the heck's going on Plenty of Fish. But on Tinder, I did actually very well. I was just telling Delia off camera that I think it had a lot to do with my bio and the questions you answered, because I put in what I actually do for a living in the thing. I answered the questions, and it was really matching me with industry professionals that were also single. And so I found it to be a very interesting, positive thing. I was telling her I matched up, you swipe and it's all boom. And I matched up with like Golden Globe winners and behind the scenes, the technical guys or the composers. And there was just a lot of things like that, casting agents and really remarkable stuff. Some of them I would screenshot them because I couldn't even believe it. And actually 2 actors that I won't say their names because I actually can't remember, but I looked them up and it was like a big deal. So it was an interesting experience, but for me it was like, this is a fluke. You know what I mean? Like, these guys can get anybody they want. They just have to walk out their doors in Hollywood. And
so you would think it's well, and that's the thing that I think that we, we have these assumptions that like, oh, well, he's a very handsome guy. He's a model. He's an actor. He's a singer. He's a this, he's a that. And you think that it'd be really easy for them to just kind of, cast a reel out and then catch plenty of fish. And it's not necessarily always like that. Yeah. I remember for a long time when I did get on, some of these dating apps, I would think, because I would see some of the people that I would know that were on there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what if they see me? What's going to happen? It's going to be so embarrassing. And there was this whole feeling of like, feeling not necessarily like a loser, but like that I cannot meet someone organically. Yeah. And then after a while I was like, you know what, if they're on it and they see me on it, well, they're on it too.
Yeah. So
I don't care. I mean, you're on it too. So I mean, we're friends, and obviously we can't connect in the real life or in the real world, I should say, and we're not a click or a match, so that's okay. I've met a lot of cool people, like attorneys, and I've met, doctors, and I've met people that maybe aren't all of those things. And a lot of them I've kept friends with. I know that nothing would ever transpire from, but I just thought, well, why not?
Yeah.
I know a few people that have gotten married from online dating,
especially
so why not?
Match. I did meet quite a few that went through that process, and and I know that like I said, for me, I do appreciate the live connection. I come from a time where you could just walk into a coffee shop. I mean, literally, I say this all the time. Ladies, you can go to the gas station and find your husband. And I know that sounds crazy, but everywhere you go, there's going to be men that are willing to hit on you. I mean, my own sons have witnessed, me just trying to pump gas, and a guy, I told the story the other day, right? A guy in an Audi R8 pulled up and was like, hi, blah, 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 and was talking. And my son was like not having it because he was there, and he's a blocker.
He's blocking you. That could have been a stepdad, and he blocked it.
I'm like, you're blocking your stepdaddy applications.
Are you my dad?
Yeah, he's like, no applications at this time. But at the end of the day, I love the in-person part because you get an instant spark. But online, I was telling Delia, it feels like a full-time job. Like, there, as a woman, you open up your thing, it's like, you have 150 messages. And I'm like,
you have mail.
Who has time for this? I mean, I get 150 emails at my job, like, to go through and then sit there. It's like, ugh, I don't know.
I know. No, it becomes like overwhelming to the point where I'm like, I don't have time for this. I really don't. And it's not that I don't have time for love. I just don't have time to go through the trivial questions of, so what do you like to do? So what do you like to do for fun? And what do you like to do for this? And it's like, it's on my profile, dude. Like, you see what I like to do for fun. You see what it's all about. And I think it takes a lot of time and effort to actually update all of that information. And so I think that, like one of my really good girlfriends, she was really into her religion, and she had been on online dating. She's like 40 plus, couldn't find the person or the guy of her dreams. Finally, she gets on, I think it was like Christian Mingle.
Oh, the Christian Mingle, yeah.
And that's where she met her husband. And they got married, and they have, a couple of babies or a couple of kids. And she's like plus 40, and I think she was even try for like her third child, I want to say. And so, for me, I just feel like there's a possibility. Like, how are you going to meet someone in San Diego and someone in Los Angeles and Orange County at the same time? Not unless you were to go to those same specific places are you going to meet them. So sometimes you kind of put yourself in front of, these possible potential candidates.
Yes.
Lately, I feel, in my opinion, though, I will tell you that I feel that the guys that have never been married, don't have children, maybe they are wise beyond their means. Maybe. But there is a flag that is kind of pulled out on that. And I used to always say, no, that's not a red flag. They're just smart. They haven't made that decision.
For sure.
And lately, as I look back, I'm like, there's a flag there. I'm not going to call it the color, but there's definitely a flag there.
Yes.
And there's something that's kind of off. I don't know if that's been your experience when they've never experienced.
I've always said, if he's never been married, never had kids, I'm not interested. I've always said, day one, never been married, never had kids, I'm not interested. He's just not on the same track as me. I've already been married, already had kids. So how can he relate? That's a major thing to need to relate to. And I'm not saying that it's not going to work if you enter into that, but you're going to have to be, teaching that man a lot of things that he would have learned from the first marriage. And so it makes it hard. But as far as like the online dating thing, look, it is like a full-time job, but I got to know this one person at a job, and he met his wife on Match, and he was saying that this is what he did. And he was not a good-looking guy by any means, and he married a really cute Italian woman. Yeah. And his whole thing was this. He went through and he said, I only picked women that I was instantly attracted to.
Okay.
He didn't read profiles or anything. He just went through and he said, cute. And he said he tried to do, I think, 50 a day or whatever. And then he would leave it. He would leave it. And then like the next day he would look and see what the replies were. And of those 50 that were cute, he knows off the top he already thinks they're cute. So that was important to him, to most men. Then by the second day he looked to see, or that night, if there was replies. Of the replies, he would go through and look and then go, and he would do his automatic, like he wouldn't even read them. He would just have this already like in a Word document, hey, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. Actually, I think he would do that with the first 50. And then the ones that would reply would be like 10 of them. And then of those 10, he had a second message that was already pre-done. And then he would send them the second message. And he said he'd always end up with 2 to 3 that were willing to go on a date. So of the 2 to 3, he would look at them and go, I actually like this one better. And he did that every day. And what ended up happening was, here's this guy who's short. He's like an Indian guy. He wasn't good looking at all, but he was very smart. And he was able to go on like 4 dates a week. And his friends who were tall and handsome and fit and good looking, they were like, dude, how in the hell are you online and like getting these dates? Like, and so he had his winning formula until he found his wife. So he did that for about 4 months, and then he found his wife. And so I'm saying, hey, you know, if you're a lady.
I've never heard of such a formula to where you have it so strategically in place. You know, you're just kind of like, oh, he's cute. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm good. How are you? Great. You know, and I think a lot of what I've noticed, in my opinion, in the past, is that a lot of the guys that are online, a lot of them have never been married, have no children, never been married, have no children. And again, for a long time, I thought, no, they're just really smart guys that really wanted to be, you know, they wanted to make sure that they were making this life-changing decision with the right person. And they didn't just want to, like, you know, just go here. Oh, everyone says you have to be married. So then they go get married and have a child. So they were very strategic about it. But now I think they kind of have commitment issues.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I've been noticing, only because I've noticed the track record of the guys that are online, never been married, never had kids, and then the people that I've known, the people that I've dated, the people that whatever, and I'm like, I don't know, it kind of is, again, it's like a flag. I'm not calling it color, but there is a flag there.
I mean, I think when you're online dating, that's definitely a red flag, depending on the age that they are.
Right.
And then and what level of career they're in, because if they're a CEO of a company, that makes total sense. If they're a high-level entrepreneur, that makes total sense. You know, but at the end of the day, it's like, if the other red flag to me is, for example, if they're saying not looking for anything serious or just looking for a good time, well, then obviously it's like, well, no, then what, you know, you're on here just to be fishing. It's like, you have to know, ladies, I don't care how hot that guy is. He might be a firefighter chief looking super freaking beefy or whatever. But if he's clearly stating just looking for a good time, you're going to be like, oh, well, he just says that, you know, but
I can convince him otherwise.
Yeah, no, maybe he meets me and changes his mind. So I think that's kind of hard too. Or you could.
Maybe you could, actually. I mean, you know, eventually there is the guys that are always forever players, and then all of a sudden they realize,
you retire them.
You retire them, possibly, you know, and I think that sometimes, like, as they get older, they realize that they, God forbid, you know, they may get sick, and who's going to take care of them, and who's going to be their life partner, because I think at the end of the day, you know, that's ultimately what we seek, right? Is a kind of a life partner to do life with, to go on vacation, to, you know, not for only the fun things, but also, like, you know, running a household. And it may not be kids if you're older and you don't want any more children. It's just kind of doing life with someone. But I think a lot of the time too, some of the guys are just like, maybe they're borderline, like, not interested in women.
That's a whole other lane, but like, I don't even know. I think that,
you never
but then
know.
They have like, isn't there like one called Grindr for that or something? They can go like find guys. Yeah, there's an app for that or whatever. But, you know, I think that, you know, at the end of the day, you have to be very clear about what you want and what you're looking for. We talked about in previous podcast episodes of like setting really being forward and like setting the intention and taking those steps. And why waste time entertaining guys that are just not even on your list? Like, that's just not. So I do like his approach, the other man's approach of like just choosing based on looks at first. I know it sounds crazy, ladies, but guys are aesthetic. They look for, this is what happens first, visual. And I think if you're a lady that you know you want a handsome man and like great smile and teeth is important to you. I'm a teeth person. Like, you have to have nice teeth. And so, and eyes. So it's like teeth and eyes. And so to me, it's like, of course, to go down, it's really easy to go, yeah, I know. There's no point in looking at his resume of like, I'm a Golden Globe winner. That's fine and dandy. But like, if you have British looking kind of teeth and like Austin Powers teeth and like, you know, little tiny brown beady eyes, it's never going to happen. You could be Jeff Bezos. It's never going to happen. And so to me,
what's wrong with Jeff Bezos?
I've had this conversation with a few people. They go,
I'm like, please.
They're like, what if so and so came to you and said, and I'm like, no,
it's not about the money. But
it's not my type. I have a type, and if he's not my type, I'm not doing it.
He's handsome though. Like, what's not? You don't like his?
He's not my type.
Jeff
no,
Bezos
you think he's handsome.
It's not about his money.
You're
though.
finding something handsome about him.
No, it's not about his money. I don't care about
that. You think Jeff Bezos is handsome?
I think he wasn't. I think he is now.
You do?
Yeah.
With the bald and the...
I like that look. It looks good. I know, and it's not... Look, honestly, like, as crazy as it sounds, it's not about his money. I don't think he's an ugly guy.
Every man, all 6 to 7 of you watching this right now who are not good looking, are looking at Delia going, you mean I have a chance?
I don't know what his personality is like. Look, it's not about the money. I think he's good looking. So like he was not though. He wasn't he had like the bull hair. Respectfully, he had the bull haircut. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is all bald. Like when they're trying to
Jeff Bezos today is not a good looking man.
Wow. Okay, and Elon Musk. I'll tell you, Elon Musk.
Okay,
now
he got all the work done. So after the work he got done, chin, hair, all the things he got done, because that's not what he looks like normally. Oh yeah, he's not a bad looking guy, and I love that he's intelligent. He's a little bit more of a package, and I like that he's a little eccentric and weird. So there's a few things
and
that I like.
And his Asperger's makes him even more
weird.
I
like the awkwardness.
He's so awkward, and you're like,
yeah,
you're
I like that.
Awkward. No, I really, honestly, I know it sounds like a really crazy cliche, and I've said this before. In my opinion, as crazy as it sounds, like I do feel like everyone like has something. Like they do. It's even if they have like what is it, Austin Power teeth? Like they have maybe pretty eyes, maybe pretty skin. Like
eyes, skin, smile. We're good.
Like there's something, or you know what? Sometimes there's like the really ugly guy with like the freaking phenomenal personality. Like, what good does it do you if the guy's like buff and good looking and he's just like you can't even have a dialogue with him because he's like, I don't know what that is. And you're like, you're good looking until you open your mouth.
No, but here's the thing. I'm not saying just good looks. No, it has to be a total package, but part of the package has to be visually appealing.
Okay.
Like so for me,
for you want to pay the light bill. Well, you don't want to turn off the lights.
But here's the thing. I have a type, and so it makes sense that dude's process, because if you go down and you're picking dudes that aren't your type because maybe you don't like gingers, but I'm going to put him down because, he's probably a really good soul and like, he's a hard worker with like a great personality. He has a mole on his chin and I find it cute. That's not me. And I always say like, I don't do the fungus. And what I mean by the fungus or the fun guys, I don't do that. And what I mean by that is the guys that have to grow on me. And I've had this conversation with Delia too. I'm like, I cannot be convinced. Like, you cannot have 15 conversations with me and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, I kind of like him. I like you or I don't. Like, period. It will not change.
Whenever I've been asked, what's your type? I mean...
She's like, hashtag all. No. Like equal opportunity.
No, but I'm not. But I don't go there with them for the record. No. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm going to be with him and him. Like, I go to... You know what I mean? I don't go there with them. But... No, it's not even that. Like, I remember I when I first started my, back in the day when I started working.
Yeah.
And I worked at a Mexican restaurant. And I remember that the guy that used to work with me, like, had the worst acne. Like, it was almost distracting because it was, like, really bad. And I just remember thinking, gosh, because there was that superficial side of me where I was like, it's going to be really hard for him to find somebody.
Yeah.
But then... After time and after it's a fungus, I guess, or fungi.
It sure sounds like we're going into the freaking...
Possibly. Yep. And after time, I realized, like, what an amazing human being he was. And he never was my boyfriend. I never dated him. There was never nothing there. But there was this sense of love that I had for him that I was like, he's a freaking awesome, freaking amazing human being. But it was almost like I even almost had a crush on him.
Oh, okay. See?
Okay, I was a little crushy on him. I'm not going to lie to you a little bit.
He grew on her. He grew
might have.
on her.
And I was like, he's just an amazing person. Granted, never dated him. He never was my boyfriend. But I was kind of crushing. But I think it was because... I feel that, we get so hung up on superficial surfaces like, oh, he's hot, he's buff, he's this, he's that. And granted, I take care of myself and I love going to the gym and all that good stuff. But you cannot change the way a person is, intertwined magnetically inside.
Yeah, they have to be.
It's like they're robotic, they're not nice. Like, I don't do well with that.
Yeah, I don't either. That's not included on the list. That's not.
You're like, if he's not connected correctly, I don't want it.
Here's the thing. At the end of the day, you have an ocean of people, human beings in the world, right? Might as well pick what you're attracted to.
Right.
And then other ones you're attracted to, pick the one that has a good soul too. And it exists, but they're few and far between, and I'm willing to go that long route.
Married.
I'm willing to go that, and you know what? I'm willing to go the long route in the desert. I'm willing to go whatever it is in order to get more of what makes me tick and makes me click, versus letting people grow on me, because I have a lot of people that I'm associated with that people say, oh my God, why haven't you ever tried with him? He's opening your doors and he's all these things. And I'm like, because I literally look at him and he's not my type. He's not it's just not there for me. And although I find them endearing, and although I'm like, you know what, this person would be great. Delia knows me to be a little bit of a matchmaker. I will meet these wonderful men and go, perfect, you should be with this person. And they're looking at me like, well,
what about you?
Yeah, like, what about you? And then I'm like, oh, you're sweet. So you need to message this person, or you should be contacting that person, or whatever. Right. And I go ahead and I keep them moving, because at the end of the day, they are valuable. I see the value in them, and I see that they're a good person, or whatever. Mm-hmm. But if there's just certain things, and it is like lightning for me, by the way. Yeah. For me personally, I have been places and it strikes, and the guy will even go, what the heck just happened? And I go, I know. And so when lightning strikes, which has happened several times, I know this is an actual thing, versus someone that over time is just like, we're getting to know each other, and oh yeah, he has this little problem, but it's okay because, oh no, I don't do any of that.
No, oh my gosh.
I don't do any of
maybe
that.
that's my problem. That's probably why I'm single, I suppose. I don't know.
It's why we're both single, because I'm so far over here and you're so far over there.
I don't know. I guess that's probably what it is.
Online is like, but when you're online, it to me, it's just, I feel like I don't have time for it. But I can see, if I was to get serious about it, to just go, okay, visually off the top, boom, 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 and then
okay, so here's my problem. And to anyone that is gay or lesbian, you know, I'm not saying anything negative or anything. It's not. I'm just saying, if the guy is like super duper, like, whoa, good looking model, like buff,
I don't like those guys.
Blah blah blah, like just perfection at all perfection. I'm like, part of me is like, and I'm like, I don't know, I think he might be gay. Yeah, and then if I've gone out with guys also that have like these crazy, like very feminine mannerisms, where they're like, my parents want me to get married, and I'm like, which I respect, you know. I mean, if you're gay, like, that's awesome. Hey, whatever makes you happy. However, I'm just like, well, you know, maybe you don't like women. I don't know. And I listen, you know. I'm there to open up, and you know, if I'm gonna like carve out some time to go on a date, then I'm gonna listen, because everyone has something to teach you, in my opinion.
For sure.
They have a message for you. They have something to teach you. I'm not gonna be rude and be like, oh no, he's not for me. I'm gonna get up and be like, sorry, I'm gonna pay my tab and go. You know what? I'm very respectful. I thank them for their time, and it doesn't mean that there's a love connection, but there could be a friendship connection, and that's what I always say. Like, if it doesn't lead into anything serious, it could probably be a friendship, or within conversation you realize that they know somebody, and then in the future you may need them or whatever. And you know what, it's better to just be friends and not like burn bridges that way, you know, to be rude. I don't like to be rude and be mean and make someone feel some type of way.
I agree with you. I think that a lot of the friends that I've been able to make over the years that are male, whether I was aware of it or not, had some sort of attraction to me, and then it evolved into like, respecting my mind, and like really seeing value in synergies and stuff like that. And so I have good friends in that realm, and I agree with you on the gay thing to an extent, because I have met guys that are extra metro, like they do their eyebrows and they're doing all that stuff, and it's kind of, to me, obvious. But when you're like, for me, what's hard about the online dating is like, the masculine energy has to be very strong. And so there's a lot of things at play that people don't see. And I think that when I'm looking at someone and he has these really great eyes, and like he has this really great smile, and then all of a sudden he also has kind of this masculine energy about him, plus he's smart and he can take a joke, like it is, you know what I mean? And he has this stuff. Yeah, he's a business owner. All of a sudden it starts to click. And ladies, if that's you and you're hearing me and going, that's kind of what I want, and it seems it exists. It absolutely exists, but you do have to be willing to say, when I meet this one and maybe it didn't work out, it's going to take me a while to find the next one or the next one to find me. And it just takes time. And I feel for me, if I'm wasting my time entertaining these other guys that aren't really my type, that I know that in 10 years into marriage, I'm probably not even going to be attracted to them. Like all these things, I'm just like, no. And that's how I operate. I'm like, no. And it's so crazy because in the beginning, the way a guy knows I'm letting him down is I'm like, you know what? You should meet so-and-so. And I find myself do that. My mom's actually heard me do it. She gets so aggravated.
She's like, what?
She's like, what are you doing? He's good. I have a friend who's this like Hollywood producer and he witnessed something like that. And I said, oh, you should blah, blah, blah. And he goes, what the hell are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
He's like, and I'm like, no. He's like, this man. And I'm like, yeah, no, it's okay.
But is it because you weren't attracted to him, or what was it? I'm not attracted to him.
No, I have to be attracted right away. And so if I'm not going to sit there having these long conversations, and then 3 months later, suddenly I'm into him, and okay, now we're becoming a thing. I just don't even bother.
Okay.
Yeah, but I stay friends with them. But I'm like, I'm not texting them at night. I'm not like, if I'm not interested in you, I'm not going to carry on.
Well, obviously, my method isn't working either. But this is the way I am, though. Like, I can't help that.
I mean,
I was like 14 years old working at the restaurant thinking this poor guy has like almost third-degree burns on his face from like all the pimples. And then all of a sudden, I'm like crushing on the guy. And I'm like, what is up with me? But you know what? It's because I saw past this. And that's I saw past that.
That's a gift, by the way. I can tell you that's an absolute gift, like an absolute gift.
Well,
because
I don't know. My gift hasn't been, like there's a missing particle to my gift, but I was 14, so you can't say. And again, I didn't date him or anything, but I just
I kind of feel like women, we go through like kissing the what we think is a prince
frogs.
And it's a toad, and then or kissing the toad hoping he turns into a prince, and I feel like. Delia's like, it's a toad and it's so cute and like, let's, like, and I'm like, but where's the prince?
Take care of it. We need to feed it and water it and like, let's give it a home.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, what I'm describing for myself is my personal chemistry and attraction, not what the other person's gonna be like. Wow, he's hot. There's been plenty of people that I'm like, I think he has such nice eyes and a beautiful smile, and someone go. But how'd you miss the nose and like the freaking belly or like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm like, I don't even see any of that if there's like just this connection.
Right.
And
that's what I mean. Like, I think it happens within time. Like it happens. And then you see like the really good looking guys and then they're just total jerks. And you're like, you're such a jerk. Like you're so like, your insides are like so off. Like you're sparking in there. It's like, psst, you're going to blow up. You're rude.
She's like, it takes time. I'm all, no time.
You're like, no time. I'm like, not for me. Not for me. I don't like him.
No. Yeah.
I guess it does take time, I suppose. Obviously, my strategy isn't working.
And by the way, mine isn't. I'm still single, so it's like I get one, and then like 5 years later, here comes the next one, and then like 5 years later, here comes the next one.
Like it reminds me of like Super Mario Brothers. Like it's like, okay, well, obviously it's not working for you. It's not working for me. I don't know. Look, at the end of the day, I'm happy being by myself. Yeah. I'm happy in my peace. Like, and if someone should come and be part of my crazy world, then I welcome them. And if they're not, it's okay. It doesn't even bother me anymore.
Online or in person, no matter.
Online, en vivo y en directo, it's all the same.
Ladies, I will tell you one little trick before we go. If you live in like Wichita, Kansas, or some random place, and you want yourself a little, Miami something, or a little, you can change the location on that dating app. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink, yes. Unless you're willing to go to, Miami and,
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're dating online, which we're talking about, like, you're in the middle of nowhere and it's freezing and you're like, these guys out here. These guys are here.
Wichita, West. Where? Wichita who?
Kansas, I think. Is there a Wichita in Kansas? Right? But you know, imagine what that pool looks like and you're thinking to yourself, I just can't get a guy. I don't want a guy from here. You can just change that location.
Well, they might be like, I like my cousin.
No, we didn't. Hey, ladies, have yourself a wonderful week. And remember, you deserve fresh lettuce. And cheers.